This is Let Us Interrupt You NBA post-wrap from the game that was on last night, Game 6 to be exact, for the Miami Heat versus the Boston Celtics. I was going to get into more detail on the other events that happened throughout the day today, but I'm going to say that for Monday because Monday is Memorial Day weekend. And not only that, but the 50th episode for Let Us Interrupt You. So if you did not get the message on my Facebook post, I did post it before I even start the show. The lighting here is not that good. I'm not liking the lighting that much. That's somewhat better. The glare in here was driving me crazy. So anyway, I just fixed that just now, made that adjustment. Now the lighting here is much, much better. I will give you the highlight for last night's what I would call, I would say, a screwy Game 6, kind of like a Game 6, if I had to be perfectly honest, based on what I watched last night, with the Celtics losing at home, 111-103 to the Miami Heat. Very disappointing game in that regard from last night. This was I'm going to give you a play-by-play of how this game started. So this game started midway in the first quarter. P.J. Tucker makes a three-pointer. It's 3-0. Jimmy Butler makes a layup. It's 5-0. They start on a 5-0 run. Jason Tatum hits his first 3-point of the game. It's now 5-3. Then he gets fouled in the next possession. He ties the game at 5-5. Scherz makes a dunk right now. It's 7-5. This is after an Al Horford turnover. Kyle Lowry hit a three-pointer of his own. Makes it 10-5. Robert Williams makes an alley-oop dunk from Marcus Smart with the assist. Now let's get to the second quarter right now. This is where the game gets interesting here. It's Heater up by 7. Tatum gets it down to 5 at the free throws. PJ Tucker makes another three-pointer. It's now 32-24. Tatum makes another three-pointer. It's 32-27. Celtics down by 5. Tatum makes a 12-foot two-point shot. Derek White with the assist. This was just all the way around. Just Tatum trying to make something out of nothing right now. He had 30 points in the game. Jimmy Butler had 47 points last night. This was the Jimmy Butler show here. Most of it was in the second half. Really, it was Bam Adebayo in the second half here. Butler made 2 clutch free throws before the end of the half. It was 48-46. Third quarter rolls around. Tatum gets a three-pointer, gets the lead for the Celtics, 49-48. Max Strutz answers back with a three-pointer of his own, makes it 51-49. Then the Heat were on a run. Strutz makes a dunk afterward. Tatum gets a three-pointer of his own. Bam Adebayo answers with a 2-point shot from 13 feet out. Butler gets a 2-point shot in there. Marcus Smart hits a 23-foot three-point shot. Victor Oladipo makes a 10-footer out there. Marcus Smart hits a and one. We had a 3-point and the and one, so you got the 3-throw there. Missed that part. Later on this third quarter, right now towards the end here, it was just Butler answering the free throws right now. Butler made a 17-foot shot. Heater up by 11. The end of the third quarter was the Heat were only up by 7 by the end of the third quarter. Fourth quarter, Butler gets the and one on a 14-foot shot. Butler Tucker has a 3-point shot, makes it 87-78. Late fourth quarter, Butler Heater only up by 1. Butler answers with a 2-point layup of his own, 94-91. Al Horford makes a 25 3-point shot, ties the game at 94 apiece. Lowry gets Derek White has a 3-pointer of his own, makes it 97-94. Kyle Lowry answers right back with a 3-pointer of his own, ties it at 97. Marcus Smart got fouled. He had to hit 2 free throws here, made the game 99-99. At that point on, it was Butler with a driving layup. And gets the and one. Al Horford the foul. He'd go up by 3. And the rest is pretty much history there. Butler gets a put-away shot with 43.9 seconds, 21-foot shot. And that's all she wrote. He get the win in Boston. There will be a Game 7 in Miami, 111-103. There was a lot of crazy whistles here in this one. There were a lot of whistles in this game. This was set up to be a Game 7. This was all referee all night long. The fouls were ridiculous. There were a lot of offensive foul calls that I think shouldn't have even been called. There were just really bad possessions. There was a foul at one point that got overturned, or that actually stood, I guess, and got the set of free throws there. But there were some possessions where I look back on it and I'm thinking to myself, the first thing that popped in my head was the time that was wasted. For really the Celtics not to foul that late in the game. You have 40.7 seconds left. You let almost 30 seconds to go on the clock and not fouling these guys. I don't get that logic at all there. That drove me insane late in the fourth quarter. But just the fouls that Butler was getting. They were simply pure LeBron James foul calls that you would see in a game like this. This was a Game 6 scenario where LeBron James would get the calls. And I think this was a scenario here now where we're going to look back into saying we should have closed this series out. And I'm a Celtic fan telling you this, we should have closed this game out last night. I am worried about this Game 7 here. I am still confident that they're going to win. I just think to myself can the Celtics go back to Miami and clinch this series in Miami? Because they've already clinched the series so far. This is the thing that gets me. They already clinched the series on the road so far to start this whole playoff run out. They beat Brooklyn, remember, and sweeping them in Brooklyn. They finished the series off in Brooklyn. So it's only fitting they could finish the series off here in Miami and South Beach, where they couldn't finish off the Heat 10 years ago in Miami. So they got a chance now to do it there, I guess, in Miami. Great. But this would have been a lot more exciting if this was over last night. And between the officiating and Butler just almost becoming impossible to all of a sudden, like you played well against him the first 5 games of the series. Game 1, I would say, was probably a coming out party. Maybe he figured out the defense a little bit, kind of exposed him a little bit without Marcus Smart and Al Horford on the floor. But what was the excuse here? There was no excuse here for what we saw in this game. This game was basically Jimmy Butler getting all the calls, the calls going against the Celtics. I've never seen so many bad calls in this game alone against the Celtics in this game. It was pitiful. It was actually pitiful of how bad. And you're at home, and you're not getting these calls. I don't get the logic there at all. I do not get it. Let me give you the points spread from last night. So Butler had 46 minutes last night, 16 for 29, 4 for 8 for 3. Had 47 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. PJ Tucker had 11 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 for 4 shooting, 2 for 2 from 3. Bam Adebayo only had 6 points, was 3 for 6 in the game, didn't really attempt the 3-point in the game, had 9 rebounds, 2 assists. Kyle Lowry had fouled out in the game. He had 18 points, 10 assists, 4 rebounds, 5 for 14 shooting, 4 for 9 from 3. Max Strutz finally got a good game going at 13 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. And that's all you can right here. Tatum had 30 points. Brown had 20 points. Smart had 14 points. Smart, I would say, really looked bad out of the rest of it. So did Al Horford. Al Horford looked terrible in this game as far as the offensive side goes. Defensive side, they were good. The problem is that they're not crowding. All of a sudden, they're not doing what they did in games 5 and 6. And I don't know what it was. But the officiating in this game, I don't know if they were just afraid of getting foul called on in this game. That's why they didn't play enough aggressive defense there. I don't know. This was a competitive series, though. I mean, this game did not feel like a blowout. It didn't feel like it was going to be like it. For the first time, it felt competitive. Like this felt like an actual competitive. All right, this is an elimination thing right here. We got to finish this off, and it felt competitive. Heck, Derek White had 22 points out the bench, was 7 for 14 in this game. I just thought that was incredible from him. He looked great last night. 7 for 14, 4 for 7 from 3. He had 5 assists, 3 rebounds with those 22 points. Grant Williams, who I think was limited, last night. And that's another thing, too, that I thought I needed to bring up here. Not a lot of Grant Williams last night. Very surprising. And yes, he had 5 fouls in the game. But I just thought to myself, all right, well, if he had 5 fouls in the game, I understand that. But you could have used him late in the game. If he gets fouled out, he gets fouled out. You put somebody else in there. But I just think that you could have used him more in this game. And the Heat last night, this is another stat I wanted to bring. The Heat were 15 for 35 last night from 3. And the Heat were 46.2% in the field and 2-point range in the paint as well. More aggressiveness in the paint. That's all I got to say. I think Miami was saying to themselves, we're taking too many threes out here. We're not hitting them. We're not driving up to the paint. But I don't know if the Celtics just want to play one-on-one ISO ball last night, like just play one-on-one here at this point with everybody there. But it just didn't feel like the Celtics defense that we saw early and throughout the series, and really throughout this whole playoff run. I think at this point, it's been they're afraid to get foul called, and I get it last night because the fouls were just completely ridiculous. I just think that was insane. That there were a lot of fouls that went against them, and I think honestly it's kind of sad, actually. It really is kind of sad that most of that happened last night. So, I mean, Who knows? If it happens again, it happens again. But man, I mean, those foul calls were atrocious, I think, last night. There was a lot of bad officiating in the game. The referees I mean, it wasn't only that Butler took game 6 by the throat, but it felt like a LeBron James officiated kind of game 6 scenario where it's like, we're going to force a game 7 for you, Jimmy. Kobe got the same treatment with some of the referees. LeBron got the same treatment from the referees. And now you got Jimmy Butler, who's got the same treatment now from the referees. I got to tell you this right now. Jimmy Butler has joined a class now. And I love how Lisa Celtics compares him to Michael Jordan last night. He's nowhere close to a Michael Jordan. I don't know where this comparison came from, why all of a sudden he's being compared to Michael Jordan, of all people. And Jimmy Butler is a great player. There's nothing wrong with Jimmy Butler at all. I can't recall ever a playoff scenario where Michael Jordan played as badly as Butler did in this series here and all of a sudden come out with 50 points. I can't remember that time. Either Michael Jordan was going to be great that night or he wasn't. But there was never a time where he wasn't. Michael Jordan was fucking great. Excuse my language, but that's the truth. LeBron James had his moments in the playoffs, but not as bad as Jimmy Butler had it. But I mean, I can't recall LeBron James ever in his career, and I am not a LeBron James fan, but having most of the 3 or 4 games in the series go out as like a 4 for 20 stat or a 1 for 20 or whatever for field goal range and only shoot for 5%. Kobe never had that. Michael Jordan never had that. LeBron never had that. But all of a sudden, because of this game 6 here in Boston, it felt like Michael Jordan was on that court tonight. It's an absolute ridiculous comparison. It's such a blasphemous kind of like comparison. How anybody could take the credibility now of Lisa Celtics series on ESPN. No offense to her. I know she's got a great career as an analysis as a sideline reporter, but to act or even for Jimmy Butler to even compare himself to that, I'd even take a comparison. Like, come really? After you stat your stat line the first 5 games of the series, you're going to take that? Okay. Then I guess Jason Tatum then is what? I guess Jason Tatum is what? Kobe, a younger Kobe Bryant's inexperience. I mean, let's be real here. Or Jaylen Brown, is he comparable now to oh God, who's it? To Jerry Stackhouse then? Is that what we're gonna do now at this point? Might as well come up with the most wildest and unrelatable comparisons possible. Let's come up with the worst ones. I don't know. To me, that just sounds ridiculous to me, if you ask me. Sounds kind of stupid. Just putting it out there. And now game 7 will happen tomorrow night. I will be at Bo's if anybody wants to join me at Bo's tomorrow night watching game 7 at the bar. I will be there tomorrow night watching game 7. Unfortunately, there is a game 7. I kind of hope there wasn't one because I really didn't want to go out tomorrow night and actually watch this game. But I'll be there to watch game 7. Hopefully the Celtics don't choke. But I'll be back here Monday for the episode 51 to talk about this. I wasn't going to talk about the Colin Kaepernick, Warren Moon saga, the Drew Brees, Lauren Var Arrington, and Brady Quinn saga, ripping him, but that's best saved for Monday. Because in this case, it's still a fresh story by that point. It won't be dead. It won't be rotted at that point. It won't be like I'm waiting like a whole week to talk about something that happened last week. You know what I mean? That's right. That's the one thing about these podcasts I don't understand. Like, they know this stuff's happening. I know they got busy lives, but what's the point of talking about something that's old news from 6 days ago to a Sunday? Or if it happened on a Sunday, we're going to talk about it on a Saturday. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I try not to do that as much as I can. I'll recap what happened throughout that week and what led to that series happening today, you know, with some sporting events. I know it's hard for people for me to think back to it. Like, why do I review things that happened 2 or 3 days ago? Because it's still a fresh story. If it's not fresh, I ain't going to talk about it. That's the one thing you'll learn about me when I do these shows. I will not repeat old stories from 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'm just not going to do it. So I'm not going to waste my time with that one. We have hockey playoffs that are on tonight. Right now, it's currently the Hurricanes and the Rangers. That's really the only game that's on tonight because the Colorado Avalanche clinched their series. I believe there's no game on tomorrow, and there isn't. Oilers and Avalanche start their Western Finals on Tuesday in Colorado. That'll be on 8 o'clock on TNT. June 1st will be the Lightning, the start of their series. So the East Finals will start on Wednesday, June 1st. And the Stanley Cup probably won't be the finals for the Stanley Cup won't be till like probably late June at that point, late July, or probably early July maybe. I don't know. But yeah, But yeah, Rangers Hurricanes will be most likely be a thing. I don't know. We'll see. That would be probably a game 7 on Monday, and that's just if the Hurricanes don't close out tonight in New York. For baseball, I'll give you the scores right now. The Red Sox are losing 4-1. They were. I gotta give you this one right now. Last night, I know. I'm gonna give you the scores from last night's, but I'm not gonna give you. I might as well give you the scores first from last night if no one wasn't well aware. Orioles beat the Red Sox last night, 12-8. The Red Sox were up 8-0. Big Papi had his little Hall of Fame thing going on. They were honoring Big Papi at the game. And you could imagine you're up 8-0 in this game, and you lose 12-8 to the Baltimore Orioles, to this crapbag team. It's pretty pathetic. Reds beat the Giants last night 5-1. Yankees beat the Rays last night 2-0. Mets beat the Phillies last night 8-6. The Mets were up, I think, 6-0 in this game. Phillies managed to get 6 more runs before the Mets got 2 more to end the game. Braves beat the Marlins 6-4. Twins beat the Royals 10-7. Cardinals beat the Brewers 4-2. Blue Jays beat the Angels last night 4-3. Mariners beat the Astros 6-1. Dodgers beat the Diamondbacks last night 6-4. Padres beat the Pirates last night 4-3. Last night, Rangers beat the Athletics 8-5. There were at least 2 games that were postponed. Last night it was the Guardians and the I believe it was the Guardians. It was the Guardians Tigers game and Rockies Nationals game that was postponed last night. Right now, game 1, the Red Sox won their doubleheader today 5-3. The Red Sox are losing game 2 4-1. Cubs beat the White Sox right now 3-0 right now in Cellier Field. Reds beat the Giants beat the Giants today 3-2. Rockies beating the Diamondbacks right now. Rockies beating the Nationals right now 3-2 in their second game of their doubleheader. Diamondbacks are up 2-1. They're on Fox right now. Mets beat the Phillies 1-0. They're in the 4th inning right now. They're on Fox. Nationals won game 1 of their doubleheader today 13-7. Royals beat the Twins today 7-3 in Minnesota. Cardinals beat the Brewers today 8-3. Rangers beat the Athletics today 11-4. So far the Rangers are taking 2 in this series so far in Oakland. Marlins beat the Braves 4-1. Guardians beat the Tigers 8-1. Rays beat the Yankees 3-1. Blue Jays and the Angels play later in the night at 10:07. The Avs play the Mariners tonight at 10:10. And the Pirates are playing the Padres tonight on 10:10 ESPN Plus. So if you have ESPN Plus, you get to watch a game tonight between the Pirates and Padres. Very riveting action right now. But yeah, the Red Sox lost last night, lost 12-8. They won their doubleheader today. So I just gave you the scores from last night for baseball and tonight here. So you get now an NBA post-wrap out of this, but you get more sports news from me. You're welcome. And if you don't like that sports news, well, too bad. I just gave it to you anyway. Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much it on that note. There will be a game 7 tomorrow night. I'm praying the Celtics win. And here's my prediction right now if the Celtics do win. You know who's going to be the Eastern Conference Finals MVP in this series? Just my opinion. Derek White. I think he deserves it. I think he should be in the conversation for it. He's been the clutch guy for this team. If Tatum and Brown have been struggling, he's been a guy to step up to the plate, and he's held on the defensive front along with Smart and Al Horford. So, yeah, I think he deserves that run. He deserves that little rub there. Little Eastern Conference Final MVP. I think he'll get it. And if somehow by some miracle, if Miami has enough energy and enough balls to actually take home court tomorrow night and win Game 7, if I had to tell you right now who gets the MVP in my opinion at this point, it's either going to go to Bam or it's going to go to Jimmy Butler. One of those 2 guys are going to get it. I hope Jason Tatum gets it. I got a Tatum shirt on, but I hope Jason Tatum gets it. I think he deserves it. And if not him, then maybe Jaylen Brown. Maybe one of those 2 will realistically get it. I think realistically it'll probably be Derek White. If it wasn't for him on the defensive side of the ball, being clutch in certain situations and stealing the ball in certain plays and forcing turnovers, I don't know. To me, this would have been a harder decision at that point. It would have been harder between Brown and I probably would have picked Tatum over Brown, honestly, in MVP. If White wasn't a factor, but White's been more of a factor in this series than people think. But yeah. So yeah, hopefully Boston clinches it tomorrow night. We'll see. I'm a little nervous because they're in Miami, and even though Boston's been good after losses, in general, they have not lost back-to-back games in the playoffs yet. So that's probably the only positive thing coming out of this. But this is a Game 7. This is do or die. They have to win this game. They have to clinch this in Miami because we got to go to Golden State on Thursday. So we have at least a 4-day layoff at that point. Now, after that NBA Finals ends, and I will be reviewing that particular game that night. So I will do an NBA post-wrap for the NBA Finals. And I just realized AEW Double or Nothing's on tomorrow night. I didn't do a prediction show for this show because I just didn't have the time. I will probably post you my predictions if I get a chance to. I probably won't have the time to do it. But yeah, Double or Nothing's on tomorrow night. CM Punk's going to fight Hangman Adam Page. I might as well just give you the predictions now. I might as well just give you the match card altogether. I'll give you the match. You know what? You'll get a treat out of this. You'll get me giving you the AEW match card that's on for tomorrow night's Double or Nothing. You're going to get that from me. That's my gift to you. Anyway, so I have that in front of me. I will pull it up right now. And I will give you the predictions for the match card and what it looks like now at this point will be in the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. But here are your current matches for Double or Nothing. You got the buy-in match with Hook, taking with Danhausen to take on Tony Nese and Mark Sterling. Here's my opinion. This Hook-Hausen trio, to me, this tag team, it's an interesting tag team match. I think Hook and Danhausen will win here. I can see Hook putting a chokehold in on Tony Nese here. Everyone's looking like it's going to be a buildup here for obviously Mark Sterling, the lawyer, to get his comeuppance here and get choked out by Hook. I just can't see it. I think in this case here, the show is going to be about Tony Nese and Mark and Hook going face to face here and actually having an actual match here in the ring. And Danhausen and Mark Sterling are just going to be beating each other up on the outside. And I think what's going to end up happening is that Nese is going to get choked out by Hook. And I think Hook gets the win here for his team. So that's a buy-in match. AEW Women's World Championship match. Thunder Rosa, the champion, taking on the challenger, Serena Deeb. Deeb's been a great wrestler at this point. She had a great feud with Shida, who she won the feud with. And Naomi's not happy because Shida was banged up and injured. So they had to give her the win there and build her up in the power rankings as number one contender. I think Serena Deeb loses here to Thunder Rosa. I think Thunder Rosa wins the match. I think this is too early for her to drop the belt. She just won the belt 2 months ago. I don't think that there's really a point for her to be for her to lose a Serena Deeb here. I'd be surprised if they had her drop the belt. So far, the title reign at this point, kind of lackluster. We haven't really seen Thunder Rosa fight a lot on these shows as she's become champion. So I don't know what's been the story with that. But yeah, Thunder Rosa, it's too early for her to drop the belt. She retains. Jungle Boy taking up with Jungle Boy with Luchasaurus. Part of Jurassic Express defending their tag team belts against Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs versus Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. I just can't see a title change here. It's only been 4 months of their title reign here. I kind of look at it. I think to myself, I don't see it. And realistically, I don't see it here only because they just beat the Young Bucks and Red Dragon at Revolution. By that point, they only had the belt for 2 months. So you're going to put these guys again in another triple threat match with Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. And by the way, Swerve Strickland cost Jungle Boy the FTW World Title at that point. I actually thought the FTW was on the line last night on Rampage the other night, or whatever it was, Dynamite, where Swerve Strickland pinned. Was it Swerve Strickland? It might have been him actually. I think that actually got the. Oh no, was it Starks? I don't remember who even got pinned in that match. I know Starks got pinned. I don't know if it was Jungle Boy that got the pin or Swerve Strickland. I can't remember. But I just can't see now because of the fact right now they had it might have been Swerve Strickland. Now the more I even think back on it now. But I just can't see the Jurassic Express losing these belts just yet. I don't see it. I think it's too early. I think Christian Cage at this point, heel turn is coming though within the next couple of weeks here. I kind of look at it. I think to myself, it's a random tag team matchup here, title match in a show like this. Look, I mean, let's be honest here. When they won the tag team belts, Rey Fenix was injured in the match. So they had to call an audible here for them to win those tag team belts. It's too early for this team to drop the belt at this point. I think they've had a good reign with it for about 4 months so far. To me, you join a random AEW episode, it wouldn't be that much of a big deal. That's how they won their tag team belts anyway. So too early for a show like this. I think you continue their momentum here. And I think realistically here, they just get to retain the tag team gold. People are saying they should lose the tag team gold and Christian Cage should turn heel. I think it's a great idea. I think Christian Cage is better than as a heel anyway. But yeah, I just think it's too early. I think a random episode on AEW Dynamite would be a good one to do it then. You have a turn then, it's fine. Because I don't think because really Hobbs and Powerhouse Hobbs and Starks to me, I just as a tag team, I don't see it. I don't see it. And I prefer Ricky Starks as a babyface, honestly, because the fans are more into him anyway. So I don't know. To me, that's my opinion. I prefer Starks as a face more than anything else. This whole Team Taz thing is not doing anything for him anyway. I mean, he's had some great matches in him, don't get me wrong, but him as FTW champion, to me, it's like the title belt's meaningless. Those tag team title belts, don't get me wrong, the tag team division is awesome for AEW. But as a company, as a person who's just a fan of this, they're not really a real tag team. Swerve and Keith Lee, they're just randomly put together here. It just doesn't feel right to have him lose to a tag team that they were just put together. Now, don't get me wrong, Hobbs and Starks have been tagging up now for a while, but before that was Brian Cage and Starks, and now it's this. It's just, and Taz wasn't even out there the other night broadcasting the match they had. So what good is it? There's no promotion for Taz here. There's been no hot promo here to put behind this whole thing. There's been nothing. So I don't know. To me, it lack of build. The tag team belts are staying on the Jurassic Express. I'm sorry. It's not. It's too obvious too for Christian Cage to turn heel here. And I think for Swerve and Keith Lee, they just got put together. And Powerhouse Hobbs and Starks, they're not. I don't really see them as a tag team that much. They don't look like tag team wrestlers. They don't. Anyway, so that's my thought there in a tag team match. TBS championship match. Jade Cargill will take on Anna Jay. This is a rematch from like 4 months ago or 3 months ago. To me, I think Jade Cargill retains. I don't see why Anna Jay gets another shot here. To me, she really hasn't been on a lot of shows competing as much. And honestly, I just can't see that title changing here. It's too soon. She's still undefeated. She hasn't really won enough matches to me to say that to end that streak there. This match doesn't scream out this streak's going to end. It doesn't. And I love Anna Jay. I just can't see her winning the TBS championship. I just don't. And Jade Cargill is too dominant. So, as you know, and I'm not a fan of her either. Not, she's a decent wrestler. She's not blow away. But I just, I look at her matches, I go, okay, I'm not impressed. The only good matches she really had was Schiffer and Red Velvet. Those are the only two matches I was impressed with. So that's it. And the baddie section thing, to me, that stuff's going to get old pretty soon. In fact, it's kind of getting annoying. So, and she could do without it, honestly. I think she's that good if she's that good of a wrestler, which who knows. But anyway, we have MJF versus Wardlow. If Wardlow wins, he gets an AEW contract. If he loses, well, he's out of AEW. He can never sign with AEW ever again. Even though he never was signed with AEW in storyline, he was working for MJF. I think Wardlow wins this match. You want my thought in the whole thing? It's too soon for him to leave this company at this point. He technically is under contract with AEW in realistic terms here. You got MJF, who's really on the outs right now in the company. He's frustrated with the direction he's going to go with here. The booking makes a lot of sense here. Wardlow wants his revenge. He wants it. He went through all the stipulations that he was put through, like what he was put through for Cody. He had the 10 lashes and all that. He had to fight in the steel cage. It had the same build to it. This time around, it's going to be completely flipped here because Wardlow will get the win here. I think Wardlow, he's getting a great push. And I don't understand why they would get rid of a wrestler whose record right now is 51-7. I just don't get that logic. I don't. Or 51-8. I'm sorry. He's 51-8 right now in AEW. That doesn't make any sense to me. And especially when this guy hasn't fought for the AEW title yet. You talk about a guy right now who's been snubbed out of the AEW World Championship. That's a guy that should be fighting for that championship. So it's too soon for this guy to be leaving the company. Wardlow gets to win. I'm sorry. Moving on. Anarchy in the Arena, Jericho Appreciation Society versus Moxley, Danielson, Santana, Ortiz, and Eddie Kingston. Like I said, Eddie Kingston gets his comeuppance here. I think, or gets his revenge on Jericho here. Jericho's team's not going to win this match. I just can't see 2.0 nerds beating street thugs with the Blackpool combat here, especially with Moxley and Bryan Danielson working together. I just can't see that happening. I think Jericho comes down to Jericho and Kingston here, and I think Jericho gets pinned by Kingston again. And this is the second time he loses to Eddie Kingston. So. And Eddie can get his revenge because he got his face burned by the wizard, Chris Jericho. Called himself a wizard, burning people's faces then. But yeah, I just can't. I cannot see for the life of me Jericho Appreciation Society getting the win. If it was the Inner Circle versus the Blackpool Club, if they were still a thing, it'd be great. But I think this team is just lame. And you want to know what the sad thing is, too, for all the buildup they've had for this tag team? All it's been has been promos, and like a face-to-face confrontation. Then they get jumped. But they've never really had a 6-man tag here or a trios tag here with any other tag teams here to establish their dominance. We haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. And the Inner Circle, when they were getting pushed, they were forcing it down our throats. I actually enjoyed the trios matches that the Inner Circle and Jericho had when Jericho was world champion at the time. I thought it was entertaining. I loved every minute of it. I loved it that night when they beat up the Elite, when they beat up the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. I loved the fact that it ended up being Moxley who took out Kenny Omega, and they were fighting in the crowd. And he got DDT right to that table in what was that, the Capital One Arena? So I enjoyed that. That was entertaining. I just, I look at this and I go, all right, well, it is what it is. So I watched that match. I watched how it played. I watched how these matches played out with the Inner Circle. The Inner Circle almost won practically almost all their matches. I mean, it wasn't like they lost every single match and they weren't a dominant group. They won every match. Heck, I mean, if you think about it right now, go back to the when the downfall really began for that group. When Santana Ortiz lost a feud to the Best Friends. That's when it was like, okay, like this is a little strange. Like they shouldn't be losing this feud. Even so, like that group was starting to die out a little bit, But when they were really dominating, when they were beating everybody up, they must have won like most of their matches. You look at this Jericho Appreciation Society thing. I get why they're doing it because Jericho's on tour. I understand that. But what was the point of Jericho forming a new group if he was going to be on tour for most of it? I don't know what his band. I'm just saying. This is just, in my opinion, here, it's an excuse to probably get Jericho off the TV. Jericho's going to be the one to get pinned here. If not him, then it'll be Moxley pinning Hager. Or it'll be Moxley, Moxley getting the win for himself here, maybe. I don't know. But this is more about Eddie Kingston versus Jericho, too, here. This is just adding characters in here to give them something to do here. Santana Ortiz will get his revenge on Jericho. Kingston will get his revenge on Jericho. This is how I think it's going to go. This is how it's going to finish up here. Everyone's going to hit their finishers. They're all going to hit their moves. It'll be 5-on-1. Jericho's going to be down. It's going to be shorthanded here. They're all taken out. They surround Jericho, and they hit their finishers on Jericho here. And I think Eddie Kingston gets a tap-out win. I do. And that's how I think this will end up going right now. It would not surprise me. All hell's going to break loose. It's going to be like a long 35, 40-minute drawn-out match. That's my opinion. We have the I might as well get in a tag team matchup right now. The Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, we take on the Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff Hardy. They had Gangrel come out at one point. The Young Bucks won their tag team match on Rampage. They were going to hit the BTE trigger on Gangrel. They turned on him. They dressed up as the Hardy Boys from I would say one was from like the early 2000s, early 90s to late 2000 for Nick. It was weird. It was kind of disturbing. But yeah, I think like I said before, I think the Hardys win this match. Nick and Matt are going to come up and see they're too overconfident, too cocky right now, and the Hardys are just going to fool them. Veterans always get the win over the young crew. Although the Young Bucks at this point are starting to get older, they're not that young anymore. But yeah, I think the Young Bucks lose this match. The Hardys have too much experience at this point. You get the Young Bucks here are the EVPs. So you figure, okay, like they'll put themselves a win here. I look at it like this. You want to have the feud continue here. This is the start of a feud. This is not a one-match draw-off. They're going to have another match at Forbidden Door, and the final match is going to be at All Out. That's my prediction. Hardys get the win on the first one. The Young Bucks win the second one, and the Hardys win the third one at All Out. Because this is not going to be over by just with one match. It's not going to be close. Death Triangle, Pac, Penta, Oscuro, and Ray Phoenix will take on the House of Black, Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews. This is going to be an awesome 6-man trios match here. I'm going to call this as the match of the night right now. I'm going to tell this right now. It's going to be great. I like the chemistry that these guys have with each other. I think it's going to come down to – I think we're going to see Malachi Black get pinned here for the first time by Pac. I think he's going to hit his move here. He's going to try and put the submission hold on him, and he's going to hit that twisting – Falcon, that arrow finisher move, that flip in the air. I forgot the name of it. But I think Pac will get the win here. I think Phoenix and Penta will contain Brody King and Buddy Matthews right now. Brody King and Malachi Black are the two biggest ones in the match. I just can't see that because look, don't get me wrong. The House of Black, they're getting a great push so far. It's great. They're gonna get the comeuppance. This feud's been going on now for about, I don't know, maybe 4 months since Pac got blinded in the eye and when Penta got taken out. So I don't know. And when Ray Phoenix got taken out, although Ray Phoenix was taken out by his own dumb accord because he injured himself in that tag team match against Jurassic Express for the tag team belts. That's why they lost the belts at the end to begin with. That would have been more exciting if the belts were on the line here. See, because I would have done this match for the tag team belts with Buddy Matthews and Malachi Black. Could you imagine that was for a tag team title match? That match would be awesome. That'd be match of the year right there. But it's not meant to be. So that's unfortunate. But I think, yes, Death Triangle gets to win this match. I think Pac and we'll get the first pinfall here on Malachi Black. This will probably be the first time Malachi Black's ever been pinned here. Because they haven't really built up a lot of, really a streak going for him because he hasn't gotten pinned. He hasn't really been submitted. He's been in the company now since last year. I think it's time for him to get his first loss. And Pac will be the one to do it to him and get his revenge that he needed after being blinded by the black mist. Says here we have Darby Allin apparently will be going one-on-one with Kyle O'Reilly. I think Darby Allin will be getting revenge on Kyle O'Reilly for taking out Sting with a chair to the leg on a Dynamite episode. That was a week ago when Sting was trying to fight off the Elite, and Darby Allin was trying to help out with the Hardy Boys. I guess after Cole and Hardy competed, Cole will be going to the Owen Hart final to face Samoa Joe, who Joe, by the way, beat Kyle O'Reilly this past week here on AEW Dynamite. But Darby Allin got the will get the win here. He'll get his revenge, and that'll be that. Frankie Kazarian, Sammy Guevara, and Tay Conti will face Scorpio Sky, Oego, Ethan Page, and Paige Van Sant in a trio 6-man mixed tag team match. My opinion on this, here's my opinion on this. I think Scorpio Sky gets the win for his team. I don't know what it is. I just see a heel win here. I can see this coming from a mile away. I think Scorpio Sky gets, messes with Kazarian a little bit, fools with him a little bit, saying SCU, remember that run right now, blah, blah, blah. He tries to get the group back together. Kazarian gets like the dumb babyface mentality. I don't know. Something tells me Sammy Guevara and Tay Conti are going to screw Frankie Kazarian at the same time, too. And All Eagle and, Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, they set up Frankie to fail here. I mean, I don't know. I just think that Frankie, it's funny because, the whole thing of it is right now is Guevara is not a heel, but I don't know what to believe anymore. I'm not even sure what Guevara is anymore or Tay Conti is anymore. Paige and Van Sant and Tay Conti will have a little cat fight, a little sexy cat fight. It'll lead to nothing. And then Sky will just cover Kazarian. That'll be the end of it. Kazarian is a fall guy in this match. That's why I think this match was set up here. I didn't even know this was even on the card, to be honest. Men's Owen Hart final tournament, Adam Cole versus Samoa Joe. My opinion on this one is Joe wins this tournament. I gotta be honest. I don't think it's gonna be the obvious thing here where it's gonna be Britt Baker and Adam Cole, prom king and prom queen for the Owen Hart tournament here. That's not what this whole thing's about. This is about pure wrestling here, Southpaw wrestling. Even though Joe's not really a Southpaw, neither is Adam Cole. This is the first time these two have ever met. People are going to call this match of the year. I think if Joe was 10 or 15 years younger, it might be that. I just can't see Samoa Joe losing this match, though. I think Samoa Joe's going to beat Adam Cole right now. Adam Cole's going to come in too cocky. He's gonna try and mess with the old beat-up veteran. Joe's not going to take any part of it. Joe's been dominant. I got to be honest here. And I just can't see Samoa Joe in his first loss here in this tournament to Adam Cole. I just don't see that happening. I think Adam Cole's a cocky heel here. He's going to get his comeuppance. He couldn't win the AEW World title from Hangman Page twice here. I don't think this tournament here makes much of a difference here. I don't think it's going to happen now for him either. I don't. Samoa Joe needs this moment here more here. It'd be a big moment for him. To me, I just don't see it happening. I think Adam Cole loses his match to Joe here. I don't think it's going to be by a choke out here. I think he hits a muscle buster one time. Bam, that's it. This match is going to be good. It's going to be good for about 20 minutes. That's it. Don't get these highs at least 20 minutes. It'll be a good match. Won't be match of the year in my opinion, but it will be in a mix of a great match. Maybe a 2 or 3 star, maybe a 3.5 star match. I'll give it. Um, Women's Owen Hart Foundation Tournament Finals, Britt Baker versus Ruby Soho. Um, yeah, I think Britt Baker loses this match to Ruby Soho. She couldn't beat her for the AEW Women's Championship. I think Jamie Hayter costs her the match here. They tell her to go backstage. She goes out the stage, and that's what basically costs her the match. I think there'll be a split within that group of Hayter and Rebel and Britt Baker. They're all going to split up at this point. That's going to be the end of that team. So I think Ruby Soho gets to win here. She hits her finishing move, which I completely forgot what her finishing move even was. It's been a while since I've watched a Ruby Soho match, to be honest. Plus, if she's been on, mostly been on Rampage and Elevation and Dark. I just haven't really seen her a lot here. But I think here she'll get her moment. She'll get the win over Britt Baker, and that'll be the end of it. And it'll be because of Jamie Hayter. So that's that. Main event, AEW World Championship. Hangman Page, the champion, will take on CM Punk. We all know the CM Punk story. He's been gone for 7 years from wrestling. He came back from retirement, a long retirement for AEW. He's been building himself up. He had won the feud with MJF, even though technically MJF won a match against him. It was kind of even. But yeah, and Punk won the war basically in that dog collar match. It was building up. He was getting momentum. He was winning some matches, and he happened to be the number one contender to face him at this point. People were saying Punk's going to go in and turn heel on Adam Hangman Page. Now they're saying Hangman Page might turn heel. Hangman Page doesn't respect Punk. They've been using each other's finisher moves. Punk hit a lariat on John Silver. Hangman Page had the finisher on Tanahashi. And they had a face-to-face confrontation, and Hangman punched him in the face. In my opinion here, it's too early, but at the same time, I'm going to say there's a title change here. Because it'd be too obvious to do this in his hometown, and it'd be really too late at this point to do it all out. I think Punk wins his championship. I think CM Punk wins the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. I do. And I'll tell you why. Because at this point, you got the best out of it with Hangman Page. You had two great matches with him and Adam Cole. That Texas Death match, I think, should have been the match at Revolution. I think that the only reason why they did it on that Texas Death match a month later, because they didn't want to top the MJF Punk match at AEW Revolution, that dog collar match. I understand that. I get it. That match took the life out of that whole thing, and it that show peaked at that point. So, and I think that should have been the main event of the show. I don't know why they never main evented with that at all. I get putting your title on the line on a pay-per-view. I understand that. But they really should have put that on the main event last. I'm sorry. Just being honest right now. Two title matches right now that were like, good, not great. But yeah, I think CM Punk wins this championship. Hangman Page had it long enough, in my opinion. I thought about it too, and I think to myself, it kind of does make sense here. But then I thought to myself, well, wait a minute. So does that mean now Punk's gonna be the number one contender again at this point? Does he have to win more matches now to become number one contender again? And who's next after Punk if Hangman did retain? You don't have Omega back still. I mean, you got the Hardy Boys feuding with this. You could go back to Adam Cole, but you really can't. You could do Darby Allin versus Hangman, but to me, it's like, I don't know. Like, I mean, that match would be great, but it's not like Darby Allin will win the championship. I just think that realistically, if you can make the argument here, Punk should win the match at Double or Not at All Out. But it's too obvious at this point that the show's not going to be in Chicago. They're doing the Forbidden Door show in Chicago, so I don't know where All Out's going to be. But yeah, I think CM Punk wins the championship. I think that might be the only title change we're going to see in the entire show. Because I basically picked everybody to retain their championships here. I mean, I picked Thunder Rosa to retain their championship. I picked the Jurassic Express to retain their tag team championship. Jade Cargill against Anna Jay. I don't know why they're doing this match again. They could have done. I don't even know if they've ever even done Statlander versus Jade Cargill at this point. I don't know why they didn't do that. They could have done. Oh God, what was her name? I can't think of her name now. I'm drawing a blank right now. At this point, they could have done Riho versus Jade Cargill. They could have done Nyla Rose. That's what I was thinking of. Nyla Rose versus Jade Cargill for the TBS championship. They could have done Brandy Rhodes at this point before she left the company. What a missed opportunity. And it's too bad Brady Rhodes left the company too, because I think it would have that would have been actually a lot more interesting. Because there was rumors saying that Brady Rhodes was not well received in that locker room. That's why she left. You want to know why she wasn't well received? Because of the way she booked that stupid thing with Awesome Kong and her. It made no sense. She was a heel, but she was a terrible heel. And the whole thing with her and Awesome Kong and they were taking the girl's hair, and it was weird. Really weird. Never went anywhere. So thank God that bit stopped. Maybe that's why she wasn't well received. I don't know. Maybe it was that booking. I remember that from 3 years ago, almost. Can't believe it's almost been 3 years since that booking happened. It's crazy. But yeah, she was not well received in the locker room. She was not well liked in the locker room either. So I guess maybe because of her attitude, maybe she had too much of an opinion. I don't know. Maybe she's too opinionated. I will admit I'm too opinionated too, and I could be a dick sometimes. Man, not well received by my workers, maybe. Man, not well received by my friends and colleagues. I don't know. I can be too opinionated too. But at the same time, like if it gets to a point where people see things that you're not seeing, then you're in the wrong. So, but yeah, as far as championship matches go, I know I went off topic there about that one, but like I said, they could have done Jade Cargill versus Brady Rhodes, and you could have done a storyline where if Brady Rhodes would have lost the match, because even though now she's already back with WWE, she could have came out of WWE months later and a heel turn for Cody Rhodes. That would have been interesting. But now he's got his own booking now at this point, so you can't really turn heel. And I guess WWE doesn't want Cody Rhodes to turn heel, which is very strange. Because I really thought this guy was going to come in as a heel and it'd be like a double turn going to WrestleMania, but that never happened. But anyway, yeah, like I said before, Punk wins the AEW World Title in my opinion. He beats Hangman, for the belt. What Hangman said to me, it was all riddles for that promo to me. I look at it like this. I guess he was offended by his pipe bomb promo back in 2011, which is kind of really weird to be offended by that. From 11 years later, I mean, you're still hanging on to that. I don't know. To me, Thunder Rosa being AEW Women's Champion, too soon for her to drop it. Like I said before, with the Jurassic Express, there's not a real tag team going into this match. I mean, if you want to say Starks and Powerhouse House, fine. But I just can't see Swerve Strickland's first title in AEW, and he's a good wrestler too. He does not need to be a part of a tag team. Neither does Keith Lee, in my opinion. But the only reason this is happening is because of Team Taz. They're feuding with Team Taz. They just have to be in the middle of this. That's the only reason why Jurassic Express has been hooked into this tag team match. At least with Pac and Ray and Penta, with the House of Black here, that's a real feud here. That's needed for this matchup here. This right here is just all for not to have an average tag team match on a pay-per-view. I understand this. I just can't see them dropping the belt at this point. I can't see Jade Cargill dropping her belt. I can't see Jurassic Express dropping their tag team belts. I can't even see Wardlow losing to MJF. I just can't see it happening. It does not make a lot of sense to me. Young Bucks versus the Hardys. I think the Hardys win. This is all part of a feud that's going to happen, believe me. It's all part of a feud. Hardys get a win. Young Bucks get a win in Chicago. All out. Hardys get the win in the end of the feud. That's how this is going to go. I can't see it going anywhere else besides that. And I think that triangle gets their revenge on the House of Black. Darby Allin beats Kyle O'Reilly. Frankie Kazarian is a fall man in the 6-man tag team group. I can't see Tay Conti getting a pin by Paige Van Sant. And I can't see I cannot see Sammy Guevara getting pinned. I can't even see the babyfaces win this tag team match. I really can't. I can see the only heels here that really win here on this show. And realistically, it's Jade Cargill. And that's it. I think I picked like every babyface here in this matchup right now. I might be way off in this card too. I don't know. But I can't see Joe losing to Adam Cole. And I can't see Ruby Soho losing twice in a row to Britt Baker. That I just can't see happening, especially in a big match like this. Then in the whole storyline, then it's never going to end. So, and realistically, if you want my honest opinion, my prediction right now for Britt Baker after this, she goes out to the TBS championship. She ends Jade Cargill's streak at All Out. That's my opinion. You want my opinion on that one? And I think Britt Baker turns back to babyface here. I think that's what's going to end up happening. Jade Cargill will be such a heel here that Britt Baker will, even though this because Jamie Hayter and this whole thing, look, they're going to try to turn her into a babyface here. Tony Storm's already a babyface here. there's not enough really babyface girls you can take seriously at this point. The babyface women's division, in my opinion, is weak. You got Thunder Rosa as champion. You got Ruby Soho. You got Chris Statlander. Anna Jay still there. Tay Conti, who the hell knows if she's still a face or not. So Britt Baker needs to turn face here because Jamie Hayter is not a good babyface in my opinion. The crowd, she will never get over that crowd. Neither will Rebel. And Rebel doesn't really wrestle. So she doesn't do anything for me. But Britt Baker will be a babyface here in the next 3 months. And she will win the TBS championship from Jade Cargill at All Out. Is it too late for that? No, because I think at this point it's the right time for her to drop the belt. Her dropping into Anna Jay to me does not make any sense. It doesn't. But I think the TNT championship storyline should be interesting here because what if they had a TNT title on the line in this pay-per-view? And if Tay Conti got the pinfall, then she'd win a championship. Because you test their relationship. This is what you do. They threw this together like last minute. And to me, I'm looking at it as, well, Frankie Kazarian's getting pinned in this match because he's the oldest veteran in the match. Now, if Lambert was in the match and it was Kazarian with Guevara and had a mystery partner of Daniels in there, they got the whole SCU crew in there, Tina, then that match would be a lot more interesting. And it would have been obvious who would have won that match. Now, you could have had Lambert pin Daniels or Kazarian. And maybe the storyline is, oh, he won the TNT title for me. You could have had the TNT title on the line in this match, too. Hell, I would have preferred if it was a triple threat match between Kazarian, Scorpio Sky, and Guevara. You could have done the Guevara, Kazarian, and Scorpio Sky. Or you could have done a fatal four-way match for it and added in all Eagle Ethan Page. I don't get why you didn't do that either. But I think that's really the only heels that win the match up here, really. Scorpio Sky wins his match there. Jade Cargill wins her match. She's a heel. And that's really about it. That's really the two heels here in this match. I just named out this list. As far as anarchy in the arena, like I said before, Jericho gets overwhelmed. His team gets taken out, and they all hit the finishes on Jericho. And Jericho eventually does once again tap out Eddie Kingston. So that I already know I'm repeating all this stuff right now at this point, but I'm going by what I have in my listing here. And why I think these matches are going to end up the way they are. Because this whole Jericho Appreciation Society crap is just sucky. They should have never broken up the Inner Circle, in my opinion. They should have never done it. But yeah, Britt Baker's going to win the TBS belt in 3 months. I think, you want my honest opinion about Thunder Rosa here? Her title reign's not going to last long either. If anything, I think Toni Storm ends up taking her belt at All Out. There'll be a lot of new champions heading to that show. I can promise you that one. I think Toni Storm ends up beating Thunder Rosa at All Out. I just said that. Britt Baker wins the TBS title from Jade Cargill at that pay-per-view at All Out. That too. I think MJF beats Punk at All Out for that world championship. And if not this year, then next year at Revolution. But it's too late for that. Also, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion on this whole thing, because I think MJF leaves his company anyway at the end of 2023. But do I see a guy right now who's not doing good right now being world champion? No. In my opinion here, if I'm going to be perfectly honest, I think the first challenger for that championship might end up being Kenny Omega in Chicago. Imagine a great match for a guy who can return. Now, I don't know what Omega's injury status is, but imagine for a first title defense for CM Punk in 7 years. In 7 years, it's been over 9 years since he's been the world champion. Just remember that. His last title reign in the company was a WWE championship back in 2013. Early part of 2013, I might add, after he had it for 435 days. But Kenny Omega versus CM Punk in the Forbidden Door pay-per-view on June 26th would be awesome. And I know the whole promotion is New Japan wrestlers, but let's be honest here for a minute. You could put Minoru Suzuki in there against Punk. That wouldn't impress me. Now we got Suzuki, who's like in his mid-20s, early 30s. With Punk in there, that would be awesome. You could do Joe versus Punk. You could do Bryan versus Punk. You could do Moxley versus Punk. That to me is just too – that to me would not excite me more. And I think if you get more ticket sellers here for a match like this, plus it's babyface versus babyface, you can bring Omega back as a heel for one night and have Omega turn back to being a babyface the next night by taking out the Elite. Or in this case right now, it's just a forced face turn because you got Adam Cole and Fish and O'Reilly, who eventually didn't take out the Elite. They take out the Bucks and they take out Omega and the Bucks. But you got to continue that feud right now with the Hardy Boys first. You could do it after that all-out show. You could do it right after All Out. So, I don't know. To me, it makes sense here. And look, Hangman will get his due. He'll get his rematch eventually with Punk. Maybe Hangman, you know what? Better yet, MJF should win it next year at Revolution. Should get his 1 year circle, 1 year turnaround here, wins back the championship. And by the end of the year, Hangman Page should get his title back against MJF. And MJF can go, you can never beat me. If you beat me, I'll leave the company. And Hangman can win the belt right back from MJF. I just thought of this whole booking for the show now for the next year and a half. Just remember that. I did that. So it is 9 o'clock at night. So I'm gonna give you one more update here in sports. I didn't think I was gonna go this long with this review, honestly. But I figured I might as well give the AEW Double or Nothing review, Double or Nothing predictions, my predictions for what I think is gonna happen for the show, and that'll be it. As far as NHL goes right now, the Rangers are up 2-0 right now over the Carolina Hurricanes. It looks like we're going to get a Game 7 in Carolina again. So Game 7 will be on, I believe, Monday. It will be on Memorial Day itself. So that will happen. As far as baseball goes, I don't think there's really been any new finals yet. Rockies Nationals just ended the Game 2 of their doubleheader. Rockies split the doubleheader 3-2. Cubs beating the White Sox down there in the 6th inning right now, 3-1. Mets are beating the Phillies now 4-2. They're in the 5th. Dodgers and the Diamondbacks Dodgers are up 3-2. They're also in the bottom of the 5th inning. And I already gave the finals earlier today, so nothing really else going on in sports today, really. As far as golf goes, I might as well give you the update on the golf right now. The Charles Schwab Challenge. Scotty Scheffler up 11 under par in first right now. Sky Stotlings is 9 under par. Brendan Todd, 9 under par, tied for second. Harold Varner III, 8 under par. And Patrick Reed is 7 under par here. This is currently the third round. The first round, which was started back on the Thursday. I'm trying to get results for this. It's not going to give me the results. All right, screw it. Might as well give me the PGA Championship winner from last weekend, which was Justin Thomas. He was 5 under par. So I'm not going to give you any of that. Anyway, this I guess nobody really cares about softball or NCAA baseball. Nobody cares about baseball. Let's be honest. Nobody cares about NCAA baseball. Might as well give you some soccer finals, though. Red Bulls beating the DC United right now 4-1. I don't normally talk about soccer on their show, so you're going to get the real treat here. New York City. I can never pronounce this right. The New York City soccer team beating Minnesota right now 1-0. San Jose losing to Los Angeles. I don't even know the name of this freaking team now. Jesus Christ. Los Angeles start fast before finishing off Earthquakes. San Jose Earthquakes today 3-2. Toronto beating Chicago today 3-2. Miami beating Portland currently right now 1-0. And Dallas losing to Orlando right now 1-0 as well. That's pretty much it for MLS soccer. Like I said, I don't cover soccer much, so I can't really comment on these teams really. But anyway, we have tennis, which we don't really cover in the show. There's two sports you're not going to hear me cover too much, unless there's a big giant championship round going on or whatever. That's tennis and it's soccer. You're not going to hear a lot of soccer from me. Unless something impressive happens in soccer, I don't really care much about soccer. It's just nothing really surprises me anymore. Nothing really surprises me when it comes to soccer or tennis, really. It's just the same stuff. It's nothing too entertaining here. So that will bid you adieu then. This was a long review. I was not planning to do this, but I figured I had to get the pay-per-view results. I got to preview Game 7. Got to give you my take right now. Who's going to be the game Eastern Conference Finals MVP? If the Celtics win, it's going to be Derek White, I think. It should be Tatum or Brown, but I think Derek White deserves it more here. He's been the guy that's holding his stuff together when it comes to defense. He's been out there for the defense. He's been producing well from the bench. He's a good sixth man. You know, when I think of a sixth man, I think of guys who were a part of championship-winning teams. Derek White is one of those guys. He deserves the sixth man award, in my opinion. I think really realistically, he's improved a lot this season. He's the most improved basketball player in the entirety of the 2021-2022 NBA season. I think he's been a pure difference maker here. Lamar Odom was a difference maker in the NBA Finals. He was a sixth man with the Lakers. I don't know if he was ever a sixth man with the Lakers. I don't believe. Or maybe he was a starter at one point, then he went down to a sixth man, but he improved. He got his job back as a starter. And then he lost to Derek Fisher. But I mean, realistically, he was a good sixth man. Iguodala, when he was with the Warriors, when they won championships, he was a good sixth man off the bench. When he wanted a shot in the moment right now, clutch moment, you know how Max Kellerman always says, "I want Iguodala." Well, you got Iguodala making those 3-point shots, and he was a Finals MVP too. So think about that one. This guy was not only a sixth man, but he was also an NBA Finals MVP when he won the championship back in 2015. I think we're gonna get the same effect here with Derek White here. This game is gonna come down to who's going to show up defensively, who you're going to rely on defensively. Is it going to be the defensive player of the year, Marcus Smart, or Derek White, possibly the Finals MVP? That will all come ahead tomorrow night, 8:30 Eastern time in South Beach on ABC. So you can follow me on my social media. I will post that on the link below right now. I unfortunately, when I put this episode again, I did not put that in there, so I will fix the things. And episode 50 will be on Monday, Memorial Day weekend itself. So episode 50, Memorial Day, it will happen. I'll let my friend Mike know. Hopefully he comes in. I actually didn't even, he might have gotten a Facebook post for all I know. I have no idea. I've not checked my phone at all in the last, as far as Facebook stuff goes. I'm not even sure if anybody even knows this show's even on. But I did post the information on here in case anyone was wondering if I was doing this today. I did. I did oversleep today. I woke up at 9:30 this morning. I'm like, oh, shoot. I couldn't do it today because I had to work too for 9 hours. So anyway, so I am signing off right now. Enjoy the rest of your night, everybody. I'll see you all on Monday. Bye.